distance between the death and having to remove that particular body and overcome that problem.
Yeah, and right now, Ana Paula Fernandez, twin sister, Roberta Christina, the daughter of one of the victims, Michelle Taylor, Priscilla, we talked about before, they're all behind bars right now under investigation. Why? According to reporting from Metropolis, Roberta Christina allegedly gave her sister advice on how much money her twin should charge to kill someone and how to stay under the radar. Chris Madonna, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that is all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, on podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. You can follow me on X or Instagram. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.
Remember as a kid watching Pikachu on acid, now up and tab with blue and relaxing. I grab my pen and start drawing what I'm seeing. The ink starts dripping from the ceiling. My mind is getting lost again. I take peace in the chaos as big voodoo demon bitches throw that ass in my direction. It's amazing. Complicated reflections I stare at. Peripheral visions of the future. Get my mind back and I go outside and let the chill kiss my skin. The stars turn the eyes and the angels start speaking. Listening to things I probably really shouldn't. Philosophy, prophecy, with things of no importance in life.
When the case goes to trial, there are two shockingly different versions of the stories.
And he said that Jesus attacked him and her dad attacked him. His immediate reaction was to shoot.
And he said, "Hey girl, what you doing?" I closed your eyes. There was a laser right in the middle of the forehead.
Remember as a kid watching Pikachu on acid, now I'm pumping tabs with the blood to relaxing. I grab a pen and start drawing what I'm seeing. The ink starts dripping from the ceiling. My mind is getting lost again. I take peace in the chaos of these blue demon bitches throw that ass in my direction. It's amazing. Complicated reflections I stare at. A peripheral vision of the future. Feel my mind back in. Go outside and let the chill kiss my skin. The stars turn the eyes and the angels start speaking. Listening to things I probably really shouldn't. Philosophies and prophecies of things of no importance. And I remember as a kid watching Pikachu acid. Now I'm pumping tabs with the book to relax it. Spitting punches, suicidal magic. I feel like rubber band and the jam going backwards. Asking how much you package, how much you take. Shit, I took the whole bag. If your ass wanted something later, then you should have said that. Remember as a kid watching Pikachu on acid, now I'm popping tags with the blood to relax it. I grab a pen and start drawing what I'm seeing. The ink starts dripping from the ceiling. My mind is getting lost again.
What exactly is going on there? Who's been shot?
You don't understand. There's a deal. Their neighbors. I don't know who's been shot. Your dad next door guy here. John Miller has been shot. I don't know. It's my neighbor. He just came over here.
I have them on the way over there. Do you know what the suspect or anybody or anything looks like?
No.
Turn off the light. Turn them off. Park right here. See that guy?
Bitches shaking the earth so
Are you? Where are you at? One male in the background. We have one female inside the garage. I'm getting one from the top.
As first responders assess the two people wounded in the garage, additional officers arrive. A bleeding man flags them down on the sidewalk in front of the house.
Hey, he's shot? Okay. Hey, let's get you back here. Let's get you back here. Get back here. Get back here. Come on. Yeah, follow me. Here. Here. You got over here. Get up here. Where are you shot at? In the brain. In the face. Got a gunshot to the face. Come back over the garage.
John Miller was shot in the face. It's pretty horrific looking. And he went running to a neighbor who then called 911. So it's a very frantic, very scary scene.
Working on it. Yep. Working on your one. The guy comes and both guys guns. Got the girl and got the other guy horse. Yeah. He jumped off his car. He took off in a qualified car. The red car, I don't know where he was at. The guy that shot him took off in a red car. That's all I got right now.
Any direction, Carol?
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? He's saying southbound, pointing southbound. Hey, hold on. What's going on here?
The police, they don't know the facts yet. They don't know the whys and exactly what happened, but they know they have a perpetrator who has
Give me the
run
damn
away from
ammo.
the scene, and they need to apprehend him.
But first, police have to sort out exactly what happened here and who needs help. John Miller leads them back to the garage where he and two others had been working on an SUV when they were shot.
You have Rebecca, who's in the garage. She's shot, and you also have her father, who's there on the ground in the driveway, laying lifeless, and we ultimately know that he, in fact, did die from that gunshot wound.
Are you injured? Where are you injured?
I don't know.
Okay, can you get up? Can you get up? Can you stand down?
Rebecca, who had been shot, was still able to
Oh my
communicate
God,
to
this is
law
a joke.
enforcement that there was an individual not on scene that had been responsible for this catastrophe.
So that's what happened. You know what happened?
Ex-boyfriend showed up.
What are you doing?
Did she see where he lives or anything? No. It got to an age, red for put a whore on her. I'm going to figure that out.
She relayed to them that she'd been working on a car with her dad and her dad's friend in the garage. And that Josh had simply walked up the driveway and immediately upon encountering them, said something to her briefly and immediately opened fire. Josh and Rebecca had met when we were both serving in the Marine Corps. And at the time when we first met, Josh had been married to somebody else. But their relationship soon took off and
I don't have any
they dated
payrolls.
for 5 years.
That relationship ended, and she decided to separate herself. And Josh was set out and making it clear that it's either you're with me or you're with no.
Rebecca Borkowski's father, James Bruner, is pronounced dead at the scene. She and John Miller are rushed to the hospital while police secure the crime scene.
All right. What?
You got the door locked? Door locked. I got police! I got police! You see anything wrong now?
No. All right. Somebody get behind this door. Hey, get me. Good. All right. Good.
Mason's clear, move.
Law enforcement has to continue their investigation and ensure that they look for any weapons on the scene, any clues whatsoever about what led to this.
On the way to the hospital, Rebecca reveals a little bit more about how her ex arrived and started shooting.
So did Josh say anything before?
Gabriel, what are you doing?
Gabriel, what you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
Saw the laser. I said, "Drop the phone."
So when he Josh, what happened next?
So he pointed the laser at me.
The laser down the gun?
Yeah.
Why did Joshua A. just show up, open fire on his ex Rebecca, her dad, and her dad's friend? Was it simply a case of jealous rage?
One thing that came out about Josh, he did drink often, heavily. When he did, it would sometimes lead to violence and physical abuse. And ultimately, Rebecca decided that she did not want to be a part of it.
Rebecca had left to move to Oshkosh. She told Abe she wanted to return his belongings, including the Tahoe SUV. But there was a problem with the radiator.
So what happened was, I told Josh that I found somebody to fix the radiator. He wanted to know who he was, so I gave him his name and his phone number. John, whatever his phone number is.
John Miller is now in the hospital, being treated for the gunshot wound to his face. Miraculously, he's able to communicate with police and describes the call with Joshua Aid.
And so, and this whole conversation, he said who he was? Or you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, you guys discussed your abilities to work on the scene.
Right.
And then what did he say if anything was insured or started positive?
I should get to come to show up.
Okay. That's what he said to you?
Yeah.
John, Rebecca, and Dad ended up working on the vehicle anyway. And Rebecca, now also in the hospital, continues the story of what happened in the garage.
John is here, I'm here. We're finishing up sending these bolts. I have a 10mm socket in my hand. Josh walks around, and you tell he is just effing wasted. I can see it in his face.
So what point did you see her?
I saw him out of the corner of my eye. John says to Josh, "Are you Josh?" He goes, "Yep." And I was like, oh boy, this is about to, I could just feel it. I could just feel it in my gut.
So then you had time to ask him, are you Josh?
Oh yeah, we are concerned, sir.
Okay. And then what happened?
He went up to Becky, which is not me, and I turned around, but the next thing I heard, Pop, when he turned back around, and he was aiming at me, and I pushed him to the ground in the car.
And then the next thing you know, he went to someone else's house, and that's where he called 911 from. Soon after the shooting, police receive another astonishing phone call. This one from Lee Hilgendorf, a friend of Joshua Aids.
Apparently on his way home, he calls his best friend Lee. And he tells Lee this story. He went there and he was attacked. Lee conveys that to the police that Joshua called him and said that he was attacked.
Did he say what happened? This is his ex-girlfriend, and from the sound of it, she's nuts. She's a Marine too.
Okay.
Not all there. And she has his Tahoe. He's got a Chevy Tahoe that's there. And apparently that's what he was going to check on. And he said that she just attacked him and her dad attacked him. His immediate reaction was to shoot. Apparently
Yeah.
was working on the Tahoe. Okay. And Josh said he wounded him.
John was 57 years old. He was a family friend who was helping him work on that car.
Josh believes John Miller is a potential new boyfriend, and he is jealous. It is part of the jealousy, part of the rage that motivates him to come to Oshkosh with a gun.
And is he trying to get back home?
Yes.
Did he make any comments about hurting himself or anybody else?
No, but I'm worried about that because, he realizes he really screwed up. So.
Oh my
So now we
God.
have to identify where
It
he's
beamed
going,
me.
where he may be, because you want to make sure that
I still got
people in
them.
the public that are endangered, that there's nobody else that he may have in mind that's related to the situation. Lee Hilgendorf's tip and 8 cell tower pings show police he's heading back to his home a couple hours away in Monticello. Police set up a stake out there. Since Lee has been talking with Aid all day, they ask him to stay and advise them on his friend's intentions.
If I can make a suggestion, if he's really confused,
Okay.
you guys can hide your cars up by the barn.
Okay.
And we'll just wait for him inside.
Okay.
He is still armed as far as I know.
Okay.
He's a 21-year Marine Corps first sergeant.
Okay.
And he's been in a little too many tours, okay?
Okay.
I've never heard him this confused, and I've known Josh
Okay.
10 years.
Okay.
Do you think it's something?
Oh my God, I hate the charge rifle.
That he would turn himself in or come
Oh
off
my
with
God,
his
he cleaned him
for
up.
the last hour,
Okay.
trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Boykin. Hey, so he is definitely coming back to the house and he's still armed. We just had a friend of his pull up that's been on the phone with him, and he's told this guy everything that he did, that he's coming back here. It sounds like he's got some PTSD issues from his Marine Corps. The friend is saying the house is loaded with firearms, so we do not want him in this house at all. And we're just gonna try to get him right in the vehicle.
It was coordinated that they were going to pull him over and make this stop so they can have him isolated. And it was important for them to create a safe enough situation where no one felt the need to act violently or do anything dramatic or drastic at the time of that arrest.
Okay, you know what he has.
Fuck.
What did he say?
Oh my god, my alarm was going off behind me.
He also was talking to him, yeah. Well,
I should have just ran and revived them.
Close to midnight, police spot Joshua Aids' red 4Runner approaching.
The vehicle coming right. Those fast cars up there before they have sprinted.
I'm mad I missed that last bullet too to down her. If I downed her, we would have less pressure.
Absolutely.
Tension is high as Aids' vehicle comes closer.
It seems like a great recon. Yeah, this was when it was on.
It's okay, it was first game on.
This is a big episode that we wanted to
That got my heart
I
pumping.
quickly call out one of our major sponsors to help make this possible, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law firm. This is a firm with over 1,000 attorneys. You know why they're so big? Because they win a lot. They have recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. Divine. Divine. Divine.
Hey guys, please do excuse the meat filter in the intro there, but those definitely were some very juicy drops. But what is exactly going on? Why do they look so much better? How have GGG completely ruined the balance of the end game even further in Northwood 3? And most importantly, what do you need to change to your farming method in order to achieve this? We're going to get right on into it. It's got a hell of a lot to do with these greater and perfect drops. And yeah. So, as some of you may be aware, me and the Bang Boys, that's our colloquial name now, I think it's a good one. We've been testing the impact of rarity and we started to notice a few anomalies. Frankly, a complete lack of patterns when it came to certain drops.
You're soloing? Oh, you can. I can solo rank, but that's gonna be such a slow one.
As you get higher level, it specifically takes like some of the juice, if you will, of the transmutes that would have dropped, and then instead drops higher level ones a bit less often. So kind of the idea is it's like, you know, getting rid of the crap you don't want, getting rid of the crap you don't want, getting rid of the crap you don't want.
Considering what Jonathan said, looking at our anomalous data, the only variable that may be impacting this we thought was group size, with storage,
Yo.
drops becoming an exalt, becoming a perfect, and finally dropping in a state. But this led us to sort of query, well, what's actually happening with these greaters and perfects? And little diagram behind us, just taking it through. So this is what I think is actually happening. A drop happens, and a check then happens, saying, does it accumulate? If no, then this yellow arrow, rarity gets applied on the yellow arrow here, and we drop the standard orb type, either the orb rend, transmute, regal, exalt, chaos, all the way up to a mirror or lock, divine.
Finally.
That sort of stuff, right? The other route, has it hit the accumulation? Yes. So it goes into accumulation storage. And then we check, is the storage full? If not, then we go around the loop again and we keep adding items to the storage until we get, yes, the storage is full. Now, I think the rarity gets applied here. And then we drop a greater perfect in one of those, and it might be a perfect chaos, it might be a perfect orphan, but you keep your storage full, rarity is applied, you get your drop. The other potential way this works, although I believe this might be unlikely, is just because of how many tracks would need to go on. Once it accumulates, the rarity gets applied, and each person has 10 separate storage on their character at all times, always counting to see, have you fulfilled the chaos? Have you fulfilled the exalt? I don't think there's going to be that much tracking going on the character. I think it's more likely just to be a raw rarity application at point of drop. But this is problematic, because certain orbs, and the ones that we want, the mirrors, the locks, the divines, the annulments, they don't have accumulation endpoints. They just exist. And therefore, unless there's something going on behind the scenes where actually the lines are accumulating into locks or mirrors, and these are actually like the craters, and it's kind of just, we just don't really know. There is that possibility, but I don't think so. So I think what we're doing is by having them accumulate, being a high-level mouse, we're reducing the number of standard drops, and therefore the number of times rarity can be applied to hit more device. So what are we going to do about this? What do we need to change? Well, if we can prevent drops going into the storage, and if we can make them drop and hit that big old rarity goal, then we can get more defines. So how do we prevent it? Well, it should be with
Much Kingdom. If it's time to upgrade your equipment, but prices are too high, well, it's time to learn crafting. By the end of this video, you will understand how to create insanely godlike equipment, and you will see like how I create these 100 divine crossbows myself. And this will be all the crafting guide you will need. So craft gear, you need to understand how gear works and what crafting equipment you got at your disposal. Let's check out this crossbow. Basically every weapon will have weapon base, and this base is flexed crossbow. This is one of the bases that I'm okay with, therefore I collected a lot of them to start crafting. As you can see, there's loads of flexed crossbows. Now, this info on top is basically summary of what weapon stats or item stats will be. There's requirements, so there's required level and required stats to use this item. However, most important stuff when you start crafting is item level. And right now this item, they're identical. So basically we got the same item level and required level. But for example, if we highlight boots and we need to highlight, basically press Alt button or hit left stick on the controller. This will show item level. So for this boots, item level is 81. This is really important. And here's the website. I'm using PoE2DB. Probably you can use other ones. There's sites like Craft of Exile, for example. But I just like this design, so I'm using most interesting one, PoE2DB. We want to go to modifiers section and modifiers for our preferred item that we will craft. And please don't worry, it will be insanely beginner friendly. There's not a lot of stuff actually that is possible to drop on the crossbow. Basically, there's prefixes and suffixes mounted later, but there's fixed amount of different buffs that you can get from prefixes and suffixes. And the power of these buffs is determined by item level. For example, you want high increased physical damage. That's one of the most important stats for weapon. And to get highest amount of increased physical damage, we need crossbow with level 82 item level. So it's not required level, it's item level. It's hidden stats you need to highlight and check. And basically when you're crafting, you can just try to understand what is bad and what is good for you. For my build, it will be increased physical damage, and we like increased physical damage more than split version. So basically accuracy is no-no for me, increased physical damage, and instrumental damage of attack is very good for today's project. So now let's close this and get back to our crossbow. So crossbow, now you see prefixes and suffixes. Yeah, but there's also implicit. Implicit is tied to your weapon base, so flexed crossbow will always have implicit of increased bolt speed. But as a base, it will have slightly less physical damage than other crossbows, for example. And also attacks per second, reload time, also tied with your weapon base. Some weapon bases will have more catastrophic chance, so that's something to know. Okay, I promised to close this for now, but item section. And we go for our preferred item and into basic items. And that's where basically our basis is located. So here's like Isolate crossbow, Elegant crossbow, that's all the bases we can find. We're looking for powerful bases, basically for physical damage, and then we can decide like what we are farming for, what items is good for us. To find these bases more often, of course it's nice to use load filters. I'm posting my load filters for my characters in my Discord, but let's get back to crafting. Basically it's prefixes and suffixes. Most of our items will have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. You already know that they are different, so damage on top and some support stuff on bottom. For example, on bottom I'm looking for critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, and other stuff like that. Now I will show you basic crafting method. So for crafting you will need a bunch of currency. Yeah, therefore you need to farm a little bit, no matter what, before you start crafting. And basic crafting goes like this. So you just learn Orb of Transmutation on your crossbows. This will add 1 modifier. So our base got no modifiers. With just 1 orb, it will become blue and it will get modifier. Then we're using Orb of Augmentation to add 1 more modifier. Then we can drop Regal Orb. And actually, let's do exactly this. I will use beta versions of orbs because I got them. But anyway, so we got first modifier, we got second modifier, and they kinda okay-ish. Now we're dropping Regal Orb, plus 4 level of projectile skills, and we're already getting pretty good crossbow. So technically, if you just, for example, price check this one, it's already can be sold for at least few exalted
Oh my
orbs.
god, I
That's
see
cool.
this coming
Basically,
on.
next stage is to just drop exalted orbs on top. So we're dropping one more, and that's it. So we got our crossbow. This one was not lucky in the end, lots of accuracy, which is like not needed. And we
Why did I just
a little bit
not
more
attack
exalted
it?
orbs for his project, so let's just buy them.
Also,
Now, is this crossbow like trash? No. Previously it was complete trash, so we either try to sell it for few exalts, or more often than not we will just sell it to vendor. However, right now we will keep it. I will explain you later for what. So that's our first level of crafting, but it's not really a crafting. It's complete bunga bunga. If you approach crafting like this, you can basically get a bunch of omens of gambling in your inventory. Just activate them and go to your goblin gamblers or other gamblers basically, and like try to craft astramentis like this. Yeah, because it's like not really possible. I mean, it's the same approach if you just buy a bunch of orbs of chances for one divine orb and try to get insanely good unique items. That's basically what I did also just for fun, and yeah, there's one last divine in my pockets. I'm editing this video right now, and crafts I already made is already sold for a bunch of divines. So let's continue to real crafting. Right now I will explain in a few levels of crafting from early to late game how to actually get preferred outcomes. And yeah, this crossbow I got on me right now is actually self-crafted, since I just can't find anything good on the market. And this one can easily go for like 5 divines or so, probably, like without loads of problems. You can say it's like low physical DPS, but that's because I'm using runes for extra chaos damage, so they're not calculated on the website, but it got pretty nice DPS. You understand how actually like items work. But there's one more really interesting thing in this patch that we will use for our crafting projects. It's a new mechanic. They called Abyss, I guess, but I call them Green Guys. So Green Guys mechanics works like this. You need to find essences, and it will be essence of Abyss. Then you're using this Abyss on your item. For example, I will use it on that crossbow we just got, and it will remove one modifier, but it will change it into Mark of Abyssal Lore. Unluckily for us, it took top part, but probably it's lucky for us because we got accuracy rating, so maybe we'll get something cool. To get something cool, we need correct Lich Bone. So it will be Reserve Lich Bone. We will activate it, and this drops from Abyssal Pits. So just close pits and you will get them. And omens can be dropped on the bottom of this pits basically. So now you see like some desecrated bonus over here. It's in the green. To see what we get, we need to get to Well of Souls. If you don't have this area yet, it's located in Act 2. When you go into Mastodon Badlands, there's Lifeless Passage, and then it's Well of Souls area. And you just touch Well of Souls, you drop this item over here, and you press Reveal. Now it will give us options with different modifiers. And we can pick one, so we can have this, for example, projectile more damage in the melee range. That's pretty fun, and can nicely customize your weapons actually. Now let's basically start with our crafting project. Now listen closely, because we are starting our crafting project for Ultimate Crossbow to make a really good like weapon, and I'm aiming for something better than this one. So first step is to actually get your bonuses. And the best way and easiest way is to actually use your orbs of augmentation and transmutation. But let's not forget, in this patch there is new types of orbs. And honestly, this orbs of tier 2 is insanely good, but we will use tier 3 orbs. Right now I will show you how I'm approaching crafting most of the time. I like to do it in separate projects. Basically I collect a bunch of bases and then I will craft. But the most efficient way is to actually orbs in your stash and then use them on your bases right when you just pick up them on the max. That's more like farming efficiency. So basically what I'm using right now is Dark Orb of Transmutation. What is the difference between like basic orb and greater and this? Chances for better augments is like a lot higher. So we will drop it on every crossbow, and we will see it's basically tier 1 rolls on every possible crossbow. And what does it mean? Basically tier 1 is highest tier. There's tier 0 also, but technically tier 1 is the highest tier. And when you highlight items, there's a bunch of tiers. So you see a bunch of T1, T2, that's like a good crossbow, that's a good roll. Now let's do it for basically every base we got. So we're dropping this orbs on every crossbow I got in my inventory, and as you can see I got different folders. Base, good blue, good yellow. More on that later, but that's scouts. And now I will use orbs of augmentation on every crossbow I got in my inventory, so we can make the same stuff. No more perfect, so let's use basic ones. Tier 2 is also great, and maybe we will make a bunch of fun arenas as a side project for today. Okay, now we need to find out what is the best combination for us that we can actually use. Is there any like really good ones? I will leave good ones in the stash tab for now, but I will take bad ones. For example, this is bad. It got mixed physical and accuracy rating, it's not what I'm looking for, and it got dexterity, again, not what I'm looking for. And that's what is good. Yeah, it's cold damage, but it's also fine for me to have insanely high cold damage roll, especially since it's combined with attack speed. So 2 good rolls is the perfect, like, godlike crouch. This crossbow already got 400 DPS, so if you just search on DPS, it's already a bunch of, like, exalted orbs at least. Anyway, right now my task is to actually get as much of these guys with the perfect rolls as possible. Because normally you probably will want to just drop regal orbs on top. Let me get them in my inventory and I will explain you what will happen. So regal orbs is really great, and of course there's different tiers. This is tier 2 regal orb, we will use it on this crossbow, and we got tier 1 apex instantly. It got just high chances for highest tier apexes. Why this addition is so big for us? Because previously if you crafted anything, if you tried to craft anything, for example, you're looking for increased physical damage, every time you roll for your prefix, basically you're rolling not only 10 different versions of apexes, but also you're rolling inside these apexes with loads of extra like stuff. Right now, if you're using high tier regal orbs and stuff like that, you got a lot more higher chance to get this one, and you almost 100% ignoring bad ones. So chance to get the really perfect rolls is just insane. Even with just tier 2 regal orbs. And they go 1-for-1 with exalted right now. Perfect regal orb will go for 20 exalted orbs. But again, even though it's a high chance to get high tier apex, apex itself can be weak. For example, 5 life per enemy hit. It's a good one, but not for us. Honestly speaking, this item will go to trash. It's just example item. Now, this step is essential to just get a little bit of chance to maybe get better crossbow. So I took away only complete trash ones. Again, as I told you, I'm looking for some like elemental damage and maybe some good bottom part. These guys over here got nothing cool. It's just accuracy rating and stats. So I'm going to my reforging bench. If you don't have it yet, then you need to go into Act 3, and you need to find Drowned City, and then you need to find Molten Wolf, and defeat boss over there, get back to the Gorat encampment, talk with the dude over there, with the trader, and he will unlock Reforging Bench. The Reforging Bench can be used to combine 3 same types of items, and you can reforge them, and you get another outcome. Now we will find out what is this crossbow, and it's complete trash, so honestly, goodbye crossbow. That's basically what we're doing. And Reforging Bench is really great. You can use it, for example, to mix gels that you don't need. I just use gels, that is gels I don't need, basically. That is not very good. Try to combine them, and they maybe get some good results. So every now and then, the Reforging gels is also great. That's basically how you can craft nice gels. Technically craft, it's like a game. Bunga. Anyway, we get rid of the complete trash. Now, what to do with okayish items? Okayish items that we got. Well, we need to create items that is perfect, like this. And that's the step basically I'm taking right now. This step is fairly skippable, but if you're serious about crafting a really perfect equipment, that's a pretty good step. I'm just showing and explaining you all options we got, and most importantly, at which step of crafting to use each option. So, this is our expedition guys, and they sell different stuff, so she sells weapons, therefore we need to interact with her. She's using Broken Circle artifacts, and that's basically what we want to have in our arsenal. A Broken Circle artifacts. So we get like all of them. But we interacting not with her, we interacting with Recombinator. Yeah, Recombinator is great addition. Basically, you drop 2 items inside and you can pick different artifacts that you like, and there will be a chance to get outcome item with combined artifacts, one from left, one from right. That's like very good stuff. So now I can combine tier 2 lightning damage roll with tier 2 elemental damage roll, and we see there's 13% chance to get good outcome. It's not that big of chance it can fail, therefore, as I told you, it's fairly skippable part. Still, it's really nice. You can get at least 1 of 10 combinations with a perfect rolls. I mostly do it only on combinations with pretty trash second roll, which is like completely unusable. For example, gaining lives per enemy kill is even okay. It's like okay to me to have something like this. But reducing attribute requirements is something I don't need. So let's try a few more times and let's hope we get at least 1. And yeah, we got it. So 1 of 6, but chance of 10%, basically 1 of 10 will be really good enough. So we get like 2 perfect ones. And right now, based on your approach, you can actually do it for every crossbow and try to create that with just perfect blue crossbows. And this one will be yellow, of course. So after a combinator, you will be left with yellow crossbow. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's not perfect because you will need to load more extra currency to build it up. So to make it more currency efficient, so you're not wasting your greater exalted orbs on these guys, there's a way, and the way is really simple. It's called essences. Well, yeah, essences got insanely nice rework, and you need to use them right from the get-go when you're playing campaign, because basic essences work like this. They are great magic item, which is blue item. It's magic, gold magic basically. Into a rare with guaranteed modifier. And modifier is based on color and name of this essence. Lower tier essences will drop only in campaign. They can be upgraded later by combining them into the combinator with this dashed up basically, so you don't keep wasting time. And the last tier of them is greater essences. So why I'm calling this the last tier when there's another tier over here? Well, basically greater essences will give you maximum bonus available for blue items, when perfect essences, which is tier 4, is only for rare items, so already yellow item. And that's a great addition also. They're fairly common, and that's really good because now you can, for example, use your exalted orbs and get to the essence menu and just type what you want to upgrade. That's how you can understand what you want to craft.
God damn.
Here, so basically if you're crafting a crossbow, but what is that? It also works. You just need to type weapon, for example, over here, and then you will find what greater essences can be applied to weapon. So we get essence of haste, essence of battle, essence of seeking, essence of destroy, and here's the fun part.
So
for example,
ridiculous.
if we use essence of electricity, it will add up to 162 lightning damage. That's why I told you it's really nice to understand how these effects work and what is max rolls on them. So for lightning damage, it will be 300 maximum roll, and 162 is actually tier 4, so it's not super high tier. But look over here, for example, attack speed, at least for now, can have maximum roll of 19%. Guess what? Our essence of haste can add up to 25% attack speed, and it will cost you 5 exalted, so it's not like super cheap. But essence that adds critical hit chance costs just 1 exalted orb, so it's a good choice if you want some cheap crafts. And for my crossbow, I don't really need attack speed, so that's not what I'm going for. Therefore, my choice is basically essence of seeking. Adding critical speed chance to my crossbows is the way to go. So let's add it to the perfect one. Now we get critical hit chance, and we will keep it over here. And let's add attack speed for this one. Oh, it's already yellow, yeah. So technically, this crossbow already can go for something like 5 divine orbs pretty easily. Right now I will just spam this critical strike essences on all my crossbows. And now second part of the strategy. We need to kinda understand our next step. To do it, we will go to currency exchange again, and we will check essences again, because there's again essences that can be applied to a weapon, which is perfect essences. And planning around them is also great. I would really like to gain damage as actual lightning damage. Perfect essences for electricity is great, but probably my perfect essence would be essence of battle for level of attack skills. Of course it costs 54, so that's like super rare. But essence of abrasion is really cheap. We can buy 10 for like 15 divines, I guess. Now the most hard question is when to use these essences actually. And the best time, honestly, is when you actually got full mods on these items. To get best rolls, you need greater exalted orbs, and they are like not very pricey, but pretty pricey. For most of you, maybe they are really pricey. So what you actually want to do is to buy another essence if you don't have it yet, and it's Essence of Abyss. For 2 exalts, you will get 3 essences basically. So if you don't have enough yet, you can get it. Now we keeping our perfect roll crossbows for now, but if we get something that we are not really 100% sure, we can try this funny stuff. What I mean by not 100% sure about. So for example, this got okay physical damage roll, and bottom part is just awful. Therefore, I will use Essence of Abyss, which removes random modifier, and it will change random modifier to Mark of Abyss. Since we got loads of suffixes right now, it will probably remove them. Let's just find out. Yeah, as I told you, but it removed pretty okay suffix. But okay, it is what it is. Technically, that's what I'm doing now.
I'm cracking.
Not perfect. And that's why you don't want to waste loads of currency on parts. That is because this step, and this method I'm showing you is like cheap, and technically it's just so found method. Now, I really hope to remove strength from this, and we hit mark. I really hope to remove mana per enemy killed. We hit mana per enemy hit. Yes, and life per enemy hit. Yes, so we get perfect rolls on these ones. Now, as you already know, we need reserved Jawbone, and we just drop it on top of each of them. And let's go to Well of Souls. However, there's extra equipment that you may use. For example, there's Omens, Omen of Abyssal Echoes. While it's active, you will be able to reroll once. They are pretty costly, but I got a few of them from Abyssal Depths, and I will use them only on my best rolled crossbows. For example, this one is really great. I like the result chance and incremental damage with attacks, so I will use it. I will show how to use it later. But there's a bunch of extra omens we get. For example, if you want to make sure you not thrashing your practice modifiers, there's Omen of Sinistral Necromancy. You'll desecrate only prefixes, only suffixes, another omen. All these omens specific for different green guys. So Kurgular and Amanamu. But there's one more. You can check them in PoE 2DB, as it will be in modifiers. No, it's actually over here on main page in desecrated modifiers, and honestly it just takes so much time to go through it because there's 191 mods overall, and it's hard to find exactly which one for crossbows, but on PoE 2DB we can see that there's basically a bunch of these desecrations. I want to really find out, so for this crossbow, for example, we removed suffix and it became prefix, but if I would like to stick with suffix, I need to use this omen before using Jawbone or stuff like that. And again, on PoE 2DB there is like a list of what we can get, so from prefixes we can get a bunch of different mods, and we see that Amanamu will give me grenade skills. I definitely don't want grenade skills on my crossbow. I want this Kurgular. Kurgular is great, or at least Ulaman with penetration. So let's use this Omen. I definitely don't want Amanamu. And basically we're dropping this crossbow, which is my mirror tier crossbow for now. I will use 2 omens, so I can reroll options, and also I want to make sure I got Kurgular bonuses. We will reveal it, let's see, and here we go. So we can add lightning damage roll, which is okay-ish lightning damage roll, or we can have more damage with hits against enemies within 2 meters. Actually, that's a great bonus for my playstyle. I will get it, and that's my mirror tier crossbow. By the way, Omen of Black Blooded not working. You need to use it before attempting this green sorcery on your weapon. So we got pretty great crossbow, and right now as you can see it's locked, so it can't be changed anymore. Let's do it for every crossbow. And this part was mostly to demonstrate you options. Again, I'm not really a fan of these equations for my crossbows, but this one is really good. Now we get a bunch of pretty perfect crossbows that we can slam greater exalted corpse on. But what to do with other crossbows that probably is not really perfect right now? Well, as I told you, we're going for greater essences, for perfect essences. And they work exactly like that. They remove one of the modifiers. That's why using them is more often better idea on weapons with full modifier list, basically. So you can understand what you're doing, because they can be pretty pricey. But also there is omens. Omens are also really pricey. It's 82 exalted orbs right now for this one, and 20 exalted orbs for this one. What omens do?
I missed every shot like a dickhead.
Different currency.
I should have lined that up way better, but I didn't.
And basically it changes what type of attacks will remove our perfect.
I'm not gonna use my invisibility to my full advantage either.
Let's use Omen of Recombination, which will change roll outcome to lucky, and this means this will roll twice. So technically, my chance is actually like 12%. Actually, a little bit less with correct mass. But let's do it.
On your right. Right there, in front of you. Oh my goodness, you guys are deaf. No wonder she went down.
Insanely overpowered, we can just use exalted force.
I saved your ass.
On top and hope for some really nice and juicy rolls. Then, just in case, we can again recombine them in combinator, maybe get some good outcome. And I'm aiming to drop my greater exalted orbs on only perfect crossbows. So let's see how much perfect crossbows we can get. And some with really good rolls, I will just give. For example, this got insanely high dex for hit chance roll, so we can recombine it later. But now let's slam on these perfect ones our greater exalted orbs. So basically that's what I'm doing. We don't care, we just slam it. Now we will check. So I got crossbow that gives me 20k DPS on short burst round. Let's check what happens when we use this one. It's 14k. And this one is 16k. This one 7, this one 8. So it's like back crossbows. For back crossbows, we can just drop them into good bases and then we will recombine them.
Shield up, girl, what are you doing?
Circle artifacts, stuff like that. But to make it more fun, let's just drop perfect essence of operation on them. Actually, not extra damage as physical damage. So right now this will give me around 7k DPS. I'm dropping it.
Damn.
And look, we're getting 7k DPS plus 100% increased damage within 2 meters. It's not like awful, and this one gives me 9k DPS at the moment. But
stop pinging. He took the high ground. Now he has advantage.
Right now, so it's pretty good in terms of DPS increasement actually. Plus, we
oh,
can
you
use
have a
them
repeater.
later
That's not good.
To drop it on our next item.
Behind that wall.
That's basically corrupted process. Doing it over and over again when you play, and you will be left with a really great crossbow factor.
Good
so
shit.
Our crossbow project. Basically, we got okay one. Why I'm telling you that it's okay to get, for example.
Oh, he's a platinum. Oh.
Right now and 14k with another one. Because this crossbows is actually got extra quality on top and runes installed. Runes gives you loads of extra damage. It's just loads of extra damage. Therefore, this guys is not that bad in terms of DPS especially. But try to understand, this orb is just for fun. So honestly, what we want to do is to actually talk with Ange, play some rituals, and buy a bunch of omens. There's omens of every type in the ritual, and most valuable ones is this purple, and a bunch of other ones. Basically, these omens will guarantee you to remove only suffix or prefix modifiers with Orb of Annulment. So technically, when you're trying to make the best item possible, you want to use them. You may also want to use Omen of Witling, but they go for like 1 divine right now, and they will probably skyrocket later in the league. So omens is more or less end game corrupting, and it's not like end game when you just reach end game. It's other end game when you get loads of currency. What they do, basically you activate omen, and then for example using Orb of Chaos. Let's for fun use greater Orb of Chaos on this crossbow. And there's 2 types of omens you may combine. One of them will remove lowest T modifier, one of them will remove only suffix or prefix. By combining them, for example, we can be sure that we are removing lowest T modifier from suffix. Therefore, by using Orb of Chaos with double omens that apply to the Orb of Chaos and to suffixes, and removing lowest T modifier, we can have guaranteed reroll of Leech's physical damage as mana, since it's lowest T modifier. But again, it's super cheap, and I just assume most of my viewers actually want this fun Unga Bunga style, but a little bit more less random than just slamming bunch of exhausts. So, this sort of chaos will go over here, and I hope to reroll suckers. Go! No, we rerolled it into accuracy. So, this crossbow right now is like pretty fresh. We got 5 fresh rolls, and it will go into my recombinator. So, it's recombinate yellows, recombinate blue, and bases, basically. That's how I'm crafting. Now, let's talk about these guys over here, what we will do. Basically, we got crossbows that got nice rolls on bottom part. It's critical hit, attack speed, critical hit, critical damage, critical hit, critical damage. To make sure we get correct calculations, I removed all my support gems, I turned off every basic I got. So we got 10.8k DPS on my main crossbow I'm using right now. We got 10k DPS on my second attack ceiling and 9.8 on newly crafted crossbow. So, as I told you, that's basically how I craft my godlike weapons that help me to defeat all content. Right now, this build basically destroys all content possible, and crossbows are definitely viable. But let's try to make them better. We will start with best crossbow, and I will use this Omen crystallization, and I will use Essence of Battle. Again, this is mostly for fun, but I hope there is a big chance that we will get insanely good crossbow from it. Idea is simple. This crossbow got like really nice stats. In accuracy and light radius is tier 1 right now. So game kind of will probably try and remove best possible suffix, I hope, and keep tier 4s of critical hit chance and critical damage bonus. This will just increase power of my crossbow. Or there's another option to drop it on our newly acquired crossbow, since technically it got a lot better rolls, and it got reduced attribute requirements. Let's just try it. Again, we're doing it for fun. Pow! Oh, wrong button. Pow! Oh! So we reduced attack speed. Not great, but let's see. It's 12k DPS right now, and that's the best crossbow we got of them all. So we just improved our crossbow. That's great. So let's try to improve the next one with the Essence of Electricity. I hope we can reroll reduced attribute requirements here. And no, we didn't. But this still gets okay damage and even better than before. So let's drop electricity on this one, and we keep our critical hit chance, we keep our critical damage bonus. We rerolled something, but we lost a little bit of DPS. Sadly. Funnily enough, you can actually combine a bunch of different essences for a really fun combination. For example, while you can't combine extra damage of different types, you can actually combine Perfect Essence of Battle with Perfect Essence of Haste in one of them. So we can actually create insanely OP weapon. And just for you, we will bunga this crossbow also to try and get +6 levels instead of reduced attribute requirements. Let's do it. And we did it. Oh, jeez. So we got 15k DPS on crossbow without any support gem right now, without any like extra stuff on top. With every buff turned on, it's 36 right now, but again, it's just projectile. Most damage comes from our boost, so it's like more than 100k right now. And in a fight, it can go like 10 times more, so it's almost million DPS right now. That's basically like insane crossbow. That's how we make really like great equipment, and this crossbow can go, for example, for a bunch of divines, I guess. So let's quickly check our market. Let's see. Crossbow with level of projectile skills at least 6, with critical hit chance and critical damage bonus. That's a big bonuses actually. Guess what? There's none on the market right now. You can use exactly the same tactics for anything basically. Maybe you like your jewelry with a bunch of resistances. This way you can easily fix it by having nice blue bases of jewelry, then dropping your essences. And technically you just need to understand how this crafting process works that I just described you, and you will get insanely cool and valuable items. There's of course last cherry on top. We can vial it, and when you're wearing any equipment, you can get pretty funny results. I will wear my helmet just for fun, and there's different outcomes. The can be no change at all. You can get randomized rolls, you can get randomized affixes, or you can get extra sockets. So that's something really big for weapons, for example. But there's a lot of really cool and new ways how you can improve your weapon later in the game. Therefore, I'm not actually planning to bow my equipment right now. Technically, this crafting session was 90% solo self-found. We switched one line just for extra accuracy, so I can show you stuff a lot more faster without farming. But most of the time, I'm using solo self-found, and that's how I'm creating my godlike crossbows. I hope you enjoyed this video, and guys, if you're still struggling with crafting, probably you want to try trading. Therefore, just watch the guide on the screen right now.
Why didn't you run?
Buddy, Apex Legends Abyssal League has been out for a couple of weeks now. We had a complete overhaul to the crafting system this league, where the crafting is much more deterministic now. If you know what you want to craft, and you have the items to do it, you can now make your best stuff. You can now tailor an item how you want, rather than just having pure RNG, where you just slam an item with Exalt and hope for the best. So today I want to do a up-to-date crafting guide. So we'll go from the start, you know, item tiers, the differences in prefixes and suffixes, item bases, and we'll work our way through, you know, all the different things, essences, fracturing, until we get to the end, where we talk about, you know, repifying and homogenizing and whittling, things like that, the complicated omens, and how we actually look at an item and say, okay, I want to make this bow, where do I start? I want to do this, where do I start? Because the people have made guides on how to craft a certain item. But when you're playing and something drops, the importance of just being able to just craft on it and finish it is so important. Having to look at a guide every time you want to know a specific step is quite tedious. It's better to learn the mechanics and learn some tricks to finish off items as you're playing. So, and I'll timestamp all of this, so if you know the basics, if you just need to know the new stuff, then you can just skip ahead to where you feel like you might learn something, and hopefully everyone finds this useful. If you do consider subscribing, but let's get straight into it. Okay, first let's talk about item quality and affixes. So I'm going to craft everything along with you to make it as simple and easy to follow as possible. So we have two items here. This one's normal, this one is magic. The first thing to know is implicits. So implicits are something that happens before you roll affixes. So an item can have 6 affixes. And before we get into the affixes,
guys, today I'm going to show you how to craft +2 level of melee, triple damage, and critical damage bonus gloves for cheap as a div. And it could end up looking like this. So the materials needed are listed right here, and the price of said materials will be put right here. Now please do remember that these are subject to change as people are going to see this video and try to craft exactly like I've shown here. So the price for the gold types you're going to buy are going to go up. So don't blast me in the comment section for it. So how do we get 3 damages, 2 level of melee, critical damage bonus, and I don't know, a res, attack speed, attributes, leech, whatever you want, for under a div, right? How do we manage to do this? Well, we're going to be abusing the Recombinator, and what we can do is we're going to buy 2 pair of gloves. We're going to buy 1 pair of glove with +2 level of melee. They need to be uncorrupted, unfractured, and it can't be a desecrated +2 level of melee. And it needs to be around item level 82. If you want T1 res, you need to go item level 82, but the lowest you can go is level 75. Get whatever base type you want. It can be EV, ES, EV, ES, Armor, Armor EV, whatever ones you want. Just make sure that they're not corrupted, not fractured, higher level, and get them with +2 level of melee. And then you're going to get another pair that are T3 critical damage bonus. And the reason why we want T3 critical damage bonus is we want to have a decent chance at a Recombinator, and T3 still is not bad for what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're doing to craft these together and start this process off. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be throwing these pair of gloves in the Recombinator, and we're going to be recombining the level of melee and the critical damage bonus. You can see that it has around a 11.9% chance to hit. And the idea is you buy these gloves really cheap. I bought this pair right here for 10x. I've been buying a ton of them for 10x. And then you can buy this pair right here with T3 critical damage bonus for 1x. I've been buying these non-stop. So you have 11 Exalt total in the gloves and around just above 10% chance to hit. So you're looking at anywhere from 90 to 110 Exalts at max just with Recom. This is not that bad compared to what it could be. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be recombining these, and you just want it to hit T3 crit damage bonus and level of melee. So we'll go ahead and recombine. Okay, it did not hit, but I prepped for this. I went ahead and bought a box full of them. So let me go to recombine these together until we get pair 2. You know that. Alright, grade 3. So, alright, pair 4. Alright, and we got a hit. Now, you could, of course, use the Omens of Recombination if you want to, but they do cost 30 to 40 exalt, and in the grand scheme of things, they're not worth it. Overall, it's cheaper to gamble these, but maybe if the price of the gloves go up, maybe it's worth using the Recon Omens, so do keep that in mind. So now we're at the next stage of the craft, and from here on out, it's really easy. All we're going to be doing is using this Omen of Textual Necromancy to guarantee that our next Desecration attempt will add only a suffix, and this is important because we want these suffixes filled, that way we can try to get some of those juicy plus damages. So we're going to turn this on, and we're going to desecrate it with a Preserved Rib. This is going to fill out the suffixes, so we have 3 suffix slots. What we're going to do now is we're going to use the Omen of Homogenizing Exaltation to guarantee a modifier of the same type. Currently, the only modifier types we have are Crit and Level of Melee, which happens to be... Crit is damage and critical, and then Level of Melee is attack. So this means the only rolls we can get in the prefix are Adds Fizz, Adds Lightning, Adds Fire, Adds Cold, and Accuracy. This is the one roll that kind of sucks if you get it, but it's not the end of the world because it's still cheaper than actually trying to buy a pair of these gloves. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on this Omen of Greater Exaltation to give us 2 rolls in 1, and we're going to use a Greater Exalted Orb, as you could use a Perfect here, but you're not going to because this is a cheap craft. And you're going to slam, and we got lucky. We ended up getting 2 flat damages and pretty decent rolls on there. So now that you have 2 flat damages plus 2 melee and critical damage bonus, it comes down to the last one to where you're going to use another Omen of Homogenizing Exaltation, and you're going to slam again. If we see triple damage here, this is best case scenario. Alright, we got triple damage, and this is best case scenario. So now you have a pair of gloves that currently have triple damage, plus 2 level of melee, and increased critical damage bonus. If you roll accuracy, it's okay. It's so cheap that you can start the craft over, or you can try to chaos, or you can try to whittle, whatever your choice is. I would recommend just starting the craft over, honestly, or maybe you just roll the gloves because you're okay with it. Or maybe you're an Amazon. So now that we've done this, we're going to take this pair of gloves, and we are going to go to the well. Alright, so we're at the well. We have our Omen of Abyssal Echoes. It's going to allow us to re-roll our Desecration. Make sure you pet the dog, and we will throw the gloves in here and hit reveal. Okay, so what we got right here, if somebody was using my Monk build and wanted a leech line, this would be ideal, but what I'm looking for here is either a T1 res or maybe attack speed, so I'm going to go ahead and gamble and go for the reroll. Alright, so we got a choice of cold res, I think that's T3 cold res, we got a T3 int, and we got strength and dex. I think best case scenario here is just to take the res and run with it, so now you have a pair of plus 2 level of melee, 3 flat damages, critical damage bonus, and a res on your gloves, and you just watch me do it for around a div. So pretty easy crafting process, not too bad at all. Now for the memes, I am going to go ahead and evolve these gloves and see if we can get double socket. That would be phenomenal, but I have my doubts. So let's go ahead and load that up with a socket, quality it, we'll go ahead and grab an Omen. Alright, and boys, fingers crossed, hope we get the double socket. Okay, we did not get double socket, so let's see what we got screwed on. Oh, that's actually fun. We got damage penetrates lightning res, so that's actually a pretty solid roll. Alright, so yeah, that is the process of crafting these gloves. And like I said, if you mess up, it's not expensive. It's around a div, it's not bad at all. This is way cheaper than it would cost for you to buy these gloves. If I key these in right now, if we do triple damages, you can see what that's selling for. If I tone the damages down a little bit, so that way it's a little bit more realistic. There's some more. If I tone the crit down just a little bit. Okay, so you can see rolling triple damage blows, crit bonus, everything like that end up being pretty good. If I pick the EVES, there currently isn't really any like it. So we ended up rolling phenomenally on these gloves. We're one of the best. And it only cost me around a div, so you can see how effective this could be for making money. Don't expect it to be like that for long, though, due to people trying to do this craft as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will do a body armor one soon. It's been a very highly requested one. Let me know if you like this format. If you want to see more, let me know what item you want to see next. Make sure you come check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/FGCorbin21. You know, drop a sub, put on that noti bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care.
This quarterstaff falls into like hundreds of divines range. Hail Kingdom, welcome to Possum Cell 2 Third Eating. After my recent video where I explained why quarterstaff that is on me that got just 400 DPS on a tooltip will have more damage than this quarterstaff that will have 650 DPS on the trade side. And you can see it pretty easily. We got 110k DPS on a tooltip right now, but with quarterstaff that got more DPS, I got just 50k. Why? Short version, it's just how skills scale. So today I will show you how to craft perfect elemental damage weapons. And yeah, weapons. It will work for bows, crossbows, any weapon that you want to make good elemental weapon when your build is based around one single type of damage, mostly. So if you're playing Ice Strike, for example, or like Arrow, this crafts will work. Every craft will start with a base. You need something to craft on. And there's different ways how you can do it. Basically, I like to just collect white bases and then I will upgrade them myself. And then we're looking for blue bases. Basically, items with already some mods. And we're looking for good mods. I got quarterstaff with increased elemental damage and increased critical chance. And just this blue quarterstaff can go for like 15 divine orbs. So someone can buy it, that's the price. But we will craft on top because it's fun. Or of course you can buy these bases. However, buying them can be not really cheap. For example, increased elemental damage with attacks with a little bit of attack speed can be bought for like 20 exalted orbs, but again, it's not tier 1 rolls, but tier 1 rolls can go for 1 divine orb, and that's quarterstaffs. If you're playing bow, bows are more popular because there's a lot more people playing bows, and for bows, yeah, they go for like 5 divines for these bases. And again, elemental damage with attacks is just not the most popular base. That's why it's just 5 divine orbs. But if we look for increased physical damage at the same time,
fuck
well,
is Fuse doing?
100 divine orbs. Yeah, it is what it is. Don't worry, all crafts today are super average Joe friendly. Yes, that's how it's called. Basically, it's super cheap, super easy to craft, and it will give you like insane DPS and insane power without insanely high cost. So today I will make lightning damage elemental weapon. We will check DPS based on this Tempest Flurry. So right now we get 5k, and we want to try to get it up to like 100k, because with gear, with...
I could also play Rivals.
Benefits, like increasing the damage almost 2 times. Okay, first step to create a basis is to just get white items like this, and then drop Corpse of Augmentation and Transmutation on top.